looks like most of us are here. So we're going to get started. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be joining us from. My name is Karina Ivanyan. I'm an intake advisor here at the International Students and Programs Office. And today we are excited to present on undergraduate student life and getting involved. As you know, ISPO is one of the 4 units in our Global Initiatives Department, and we're also joined by some colleagues from campus. So I'm going to pass it over to them to introduce themselves as well.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Karina. My name is Gabi Hoffman. I'm the Assistant Director for Student Experience and Engagement here at the International Students and Programs Office, and we're very excited to have you here today. I'll go ahead and pass it along to my colleague, Michelle.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Wynn, and my pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am the International Peer Coach Program Coordinator here also at the International Students and Programs Office. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to my other wonderful colleague, Sarah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sarah. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm the program coordinator of a living and learning community on campus called International House that I'll be sharing a bit more later in the presentation. And I'll pass it off to our student panelists. Eunice, you want to go ahead and take the next one?
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Hi, everyone. I'm Eunice. I'm a undergrad program intern in ISPO. I'm so happy to join everyone today. I'll pass it on to my other student panel. I'll pass it on to Zena.
Hi everyone, I'm Zena and I am a program intern at ISPO. I'm also a 3rd-year undergraduate student here at UCSD. I study poli-sci and sociology, and I will pass it to Ding Yi.
Hi everyone, I'm Ding Yi. I'm also an undergraduate student intern for videographer, and I'm a 4th-year visual art media major.
Thank you, everybody, for the introductions. Before we get started with the content of today's presentation, a few housekeeping reminders. You are in listen-only mode, which means you can hear us, but we can't hear you. We do want to make sure that we get all of your questions answered, so please don't hesitate to utilize that Q&A feature on your screen to submit your questions. If by any chance we don't get to answer your question today, please visit icontact.ucsd.edu to connect with an ISPO advisor. And then lastly, we are recording, so you'll be able to view this webinar recording at inewstudentwebinars.ucsd.edu. We do ask that you give us a few days to process the videos and upload them. But if you're curious to watch this recording or any other pre-arrival webinar recording, all of them will be available on inewstudentwebinars.ucsd.edu. And this is just kind of that Q&A feature that I've mentioned earlier. It allows you to type in your questions, and you can also send in your questions anonymously. We'll have time at the end of the presentation to do a live Q&A, but you may also notice some of our panelists will be responding to your questions through that feature as well. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Gabi.
Great. Thank you so much, Karina. So I just wanted to let you know a little bit more about ISPO and its services. Some of you might be familiar already with what the International Students and Programs Office does. Hopefully you visited our website, inewstudent.ucsd.edu. This is a great first step in completing the various different pieces that you need to get here. But I wanted to just give you a brief overview of what ISPO provides its students. So the first step in your interaction with us will be in the context of visa support services, right? So we are the office that provides you your visa documents and issuance so that you can go and get your visa to come here. But we're much, much bigger than that as well. So while we do provide services here to help advise and help you keep in status while you're a student here, we also offer a wide range of programs and events and engagement opportunities to get to know fellow students, whether they're fellow international students or domestic students, as well as our staff, and become involved in peer coaching programs, which my colleagues will go over today. And we also conduct pre-arrival sessions just like this and orientation. So we offer a wide range of services to help support you in your journey as an international student here at UC San Diego. So a little bit about who we are and what we look like. So our friendly staff here at ISPO, we have 20 professional staff. So those are advisors here to help you, programmers, and we also have a wonderful team of 10 student staff here to help support you. Again, what we do, so our expert staff, we help support you and guide you along the way through your journey here with your academic and personal goals, your transition to campus and student life, and of course, making sure that you are getting the opportunity to meaningfully engage with the university and local community. So we are here to help you with all of those pieces before you arrive and once you arrive. A little bit about who our students are as well. This is a great snapshot to take a look at. So as you can see here, we have a really robust international student population at UC San Diego, which we're so proud of. We have a total number of nearly 9,000 international students studying here on campus, and that doesn't even include our 2,000 or so students who are on post-completion work authorization, either through OPT or STEM OPT or academic training. So we are really, really proud of our diverse student population. Again, you can see the breakdown there, just over 5,000 undergraduate international students, about 3,500 graduate students. You can take a look here. This is on our website, this snapshot, that gives you sort of an idea of what our international students are studying here at UC San Diego as well. So I encourage you to visit our website. This gives you a detailed breakdown. Also tells you where our students are from. Most of our students, top 10 countries are listed here. Most are from China, India, and Taiwan. Those are our top 3 countries who come to UC San Diego to pursue degrees or come here on exchange. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, so if you haven't visited our inewstudent.ucsd.edu page, I highly encourage you to do so as soon as you can. This page is designed specifically for you, an international student, at whatever degree level you are pursuing, or if you're here as a non-degree exchange student. This is a great way to get a sort of understanding of what steps you need to follow to come to UC San Diego, to come to the United States, right? So we break down the steps for you here, including how to request your immigration documents. We further break it down to steps that you need to take care of to prepare for arrival, as well as steps to complete upon arrival at UC San Diego. So again, the website is at the top. Please go ahead and take a look and let that really be a guide to help you through this process in coming to UC San Diego.
In addition, to talk a little bit more about some of the other programs that complement the regulatory information that you can find on our website that Kabi just mentioned, we want to just give you a quick reminder about our pre-arrival webinars that can be found on inewstudentwebinars.ucsd.edu. And if this is maybe your first or second one you're joining for, I highly encourage you to go back and watch all of the recordings. As you can see, the topics range from visa, how to get your visa, to housing, campus safety, and so much more. It's a great way to kind of hear from our campus partners who work with these areas and kind of learn more before you arrive to campus. As Gabi mentioned, a part of what we do is also our new international student orientation. And so here at ISPO and here at UC San Diego, international student orientation is divided into 3 steps. The first one is our iTriton online training, and you may also kind of hear it being referred to as our online Canvas orientation, iTriton orientation, and so much more. But pretty much what it is a course that you can access through Canvas. We split the content into different modules, and as part of it, we go in depth on topics such as pre-arrival, succeeding academically at UC San Diego, setting up in San Diego, getting involved, working in the US, and so much more. Students will have time between June 1st and September 11th to complete this training. You do not have access to it yet. Again, you'll be added to the course on June 1st. We do encourage you to just keep an eye on your UCSD email for that invitation to join iTriton. And this closely connects to our international orientation sessions. Please note that both iTriton and international orientation sessions are mandatory. For our mandatory sessions, those will take place between September 12th and 14th, and they will be virtual. And the expectation here is that you have completed iTriton before coming to these sessions, because they're going to be more of a refresher rather than a deep dive into the content. And then lastly, I would say the most fun part of our orientation is the International Welcome Programming. So it will take place this year between September 18th and 27th. It's strongly recommended, and most of the sessions will be in person. It's a great opportunity to meet the campus community, to get connected to other international students. And we have really fun events planned, such as coffee hours and our socials. So I highly encourage you, if you're interested to kind of learn more, to visit our iorientation.ucsd.edu for more details. ISPO has also created guides to help you navigate this transition to UC San Diego and prepare for your arrival to United States. The first one I want to point your attention to is our welcome guide. So this is a set of checklists that outline different processes and different things that you need to bring with you. So for example, one of the things we cover in this is all of the different documents you need to bring with you when you had to arrive to San Diego. It's really fun and interactive. There's useful links, and you can also kind of like check off items in the checklist. It's really interactive and nice in that way. The second one is SurfCheck, coming to UC San Diego. It gets its name from the vibrant surfing community here in San Diego. And pretty much this document outlines, again, we talk about things to bring to campus with you, how to set up your bank account, how to get a phone number. We talk a little bit about billing, how to pay your bill, and so much more. It is a rather large guide. It's about 80 pages, but you can focus on topics that interest you most. And it's a great way to kind of find those resources. Another thing that we talk about in SurfCheck is how different transportation modes to get to campus from the airport. So it's a really great guide for not only our incoming students, but even our continuing students really love to utilize it to help them navigate UC San Diego. Lastly, I'd like to talk about ISPO specialty programs. You'll also hear us refer to them as I programs. To highlight a few, we have English in Action, which is our conversation program where we pair native speakers with participants, and you meet with them a few times a week to practice your English. Coffee hours is I would say, one of the most popular events. Usually students get together in our space just outside of our office, and there's coffee and pastries. We have really fun games prepared, as well as giveaways, and it's a very nice way to enjoy the San Diego weather, meet other international students or domestic students, and get to know ISPO staff as well. Another one I'd like to highlight is Triton Trekkers. This is a partnership with UC Recreations, and we take students on trips. Just like last week, we did a kayaking trip in Coronado. A few weeks ago, we did a snorkeling trip. So it could be anything kind of related to the ocean, or sometimes we do hiking trips and rock climbing as well. So if you're interested in kind of learning more about any of these programs, I highly encourage you to go to iprograms.ucsd.edu. And one of the programs you might have noticed on the slide is International Peer Coaching Program. So I'm going to pass it over to Michelle to tell us more about that.
Thank you so much, Karina. So a little bit more about the International Peer Coaching Program, or IPC for short, which are the International Peer Coaches. So the program itself is a mentorship program offered by our office that is dedicated to supporting the success and retention of a cohort of first-year international students at UC San Diego. And what we do is we offer a variety of coaching programs and services. So our hallmark approach is to use coaching as a vehicle to partner with students to achieve their goals, both short and long term, and throughout their journey at UCSD. So as a new first-year international student, you are automatically enrolled in this program. And what that means is that throughout the year, you will be receiving a weekly check-in newsletter from your designated international peer coach, as well as getting more info on our other services and events that we curate specifically for first-year international students, such as professional development events, leadership development events, and of course, social and cultural events, such as our intercultural social hour that you just saw on the previous slide. And your respective international peer coach will be a fellow international undergraduate student who has experienced the trials, challenges, as well as the joys of being a Triton here at UCSD. So they are great resources if you want any advice, tips, and or help during your first year here on anything and everything related to UCSD and also to life in Southern California and in the US. And then we also partner with the Triton Transfer Hub, and they also are a great resource, especially if you are a transfer student, and they have their own international transfer peer coach. So if you are a transfer student, I would definitely check out their lovely services, but they also just have some wonderful events throughout the year that is open to all students. And without further ado, if you want to learn more about us, please do visit us at our vanity URL, which is ipeercoaching.ucsd.edu. Again, you can always reach us out via email, but then we also have our Instagram. So please do follow us if you want to get ready before your move here to San Diego. But overall, we're super excited to be working with you all in the future. And lastly, we also have the GAP program. So this might be a little bit more special and interesting to you all. So the Global Ambassadors Program, or GAP, it's a summer-long peer mentoring program that's designed to assist incoming undergraduate, international, and out-of-state students. And what this program does, it's all about acclimating you to your new life here in Southern California, as well as UC San Diego. So making that transition from high school to university a little bit smoother. So you're going to be paired up with a GAP mentor should you want to apply to this program. And your fellow mentor will be another undergrad student. You may have an international student or you may have a domestic student. Either way, they are all continuing students that will provide very great and friendly support in order to engage our undergraduate non-resident students here. And overall, they're here to help you, again, in your transition during the summer. And after your Global Ambassador program is done, then you will be transitioned over into the International Peer Coaching Program. And it will be a very seamless transition. And overall, again, we're just here to make sure that you are always doing okay, and we are here as a resource for you all. And without further ado, I will pass it over to my colleague, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm going to turn my camera on because if you see me on campus, I want you to say hello to me. I work over in iHouse, which is a living and learning community that is it is a residential community, but it is also a programming hub for different international programs. So we partner with ISPO all the time, and we work with international students, especially as our student leaders, to create programming that is welcome to all of campus. So you're going to have a lot of questions over the summer. I definitely recommend you to reach out to ISPO and take advantage of all of the resources. This is a bit of a preview of programming that you can get involved in once you're on campus and settled in and want to really become involved in your community. So a reminder about iHouse, there is a residential component, so you can apply to live here. iHouse is a blended community of domestic and international students that is built around global awareness, cultural understanding, and international friendships. It's a really fun community to be a part of, but the important thing to remember is that all of our programs are open to all students from any college. Even though we are situated in Eleanor Roosevelt College, we are open to everybody. Some of our featured programs that I just wanted to share with you today, language conversation tables is one of our most popular programs. So this is a student-led conversation practice event that happens every week on Tuesday. If you want to host a language table, you can help others practice that language who are learning that language, or just meet with fellow speakers of the language and have a relaxed hour in which you can practice or use your conversation skills in different languages. We have different languages featured every quarter, depending on our volunteers, but it's definitely a really fun time and a great way to celebrate all the different languages that we speak on campus. The Global Forum is a student-planned international lecture series. So if you have certain international topics that you're super interested in or want to bring more awareness to on campus, the Global Forum works with our student interns to really bring current international events and issues to campus and really give students a platform to express their experience and share on these important topics. So those are typically held on Wednesdays in the iHouse community. iHouse also partners with ISPO and other campus partners for large-scale festivals and celebrations. Actually, Zena and Eunice, who are the student panelists on this call, helped organize one of these big events last quarter. But as we start working on large-scale campus events, you can think of iHouse as a partner for supporting student organizations. So if you are trying to work to organize a larger scale event, we have an event space in which we can support student orgs and student leaders to actually bring people together to celebrate different international holidays. This picture here is from the Lunar New Year celebration from this year, which was a very fun event. One of our smaller scale events is called Show and Telly, based off of the game Show and Tell, where you're just sharing something about yourself or sharing something that's important to you. These are student-led conversations about any cultural topic. Typically, students focus on something from their home country. And it's a really great way to meet iHouse residents and other students who are interested in culture. A great perk of this program is that iHouse will support a snack or a food or a drink that you want to share with the UCSD community. So it's typically on Thursdays in the iHouse residential lounges. So just as a reminder as to where our main event space called the Great Hall is located and where iHouse is located, we are part of Eleanor Roosevelt College, which is just north of Marshall College. I believe we're south of 7th College. So if you're in that area, do stop by, check out our programming available on ievents.ucsd.edu, which is our, ISPO's central events calendar, and come to the community. Even if you aren't assigned to this area as your residential assignment, you can always apply to live here later, and it's a really great opportunity to meet students that have a lot of interest in different countries and different cultures. Great, so as you start collecting your different contacts, the best way to stay in touch with iHouse is through social media. That's a great way to keep up to date on our programming. So we have Facebook, Instagram, and we have our main website as well. And also that iEvents calendar that you will hear mentioned many times through programming webinars. You'll see our programming show up regularly on that social events calendar as well. So we hope if you see an iHouse event that you know that you are welcome to participate, and we definitely want to see you there. Great, so I'm going to switch hats and talk a little bit about a group called Globally Engaged Tritons. So along with ISPO, International House, the International Peer Coaching Program, there are many other groups on campus that help support global programming at UCSD. So we have the Global Initiatives Office, which has a really great network of professionals and students that work with us on programming, as well as the study abroad team. Globally Engaged Tritons is the name that we've given this collection of different groups that are working on the international or global experience on campus and off campus. So again, this iEvents calendar that I'm going to mention so many times, this is really where you can see the collection of open programming through all of these different organizations. I know it can be a lot to keep all of these different offices in mind, but this is really a very excellent centralized location where you can see all of our programming. And actually my favorite part of this is that it has a very prominent tag of free food provided. That's one of the favorite tags on these events. So you can actually search through and see where you can enjoy a free snack on a globally engaged Tritons. Another benefit of participating in campus programming regularly is that you can actually get a co-curricular record certification that is published along with your transcript. I'm not going to go into detail about the CCR. I think you'll hear more about it as you get settled into campus life. But you can think of this as an official staff validated credit that gets printed along with your transcript that shows that you have engaged in global programming on campus. So if you're on the iEvents calendar and you're attending events regularly and you get up to 30 hours in an academic year, you can actually apply and get a credit, which gives you a bit of an extra bonus if you're applying to on-campus jobs. It can set you apart in a professional setting. It's a great career building or career preparation tool, and also a great way to just reflect the wonderful occurrence of celebrating cultures and participating in global programming on campus. Great. With that, I will pass it back to Karina for other ways to get involved.
Thank you, Sarah. As you can probably tell already, there's just so much going on campus, and in your time here, you'll hear it a lot like, oh my gosh, UCSD is so big. There's so much going on. But there are a few more things that we do want to share with you that may help you in your journey of getting involved on campus and finding your community here at UC San Diego. And one of those things is student organizations. So here at UCSD, we have over 500 different clubs and student orgs, and those are led by students for students. And they can be divided into cultural groups, dance, health professions. You can see some of the categories here on this slide, but it's a great way to kind of narrow down different groups that may have the same interests as you. So I highly encourage you to go to studentorg.ucsd.edu to kind of check out some of those different communities that we have on campus. This list gets updated every academic year. So sometimes even if you, let's say, checked it out in the fall, it may look very different in the winter. So it's a really nice kind of place to check regularly to see if there's something that you would like to join. Another great way to get involved on campus is through community centers. So this is a really nice opportunity for students to find their community. And so we have Black Resource Center, Cross-Cultural Center, Intertribal Resource Center, LGBT Resource Center, Raza Resource Center, Women's Center, and API Meta. And those centers are identity-based. All of them host really wonderful events and programs that are open to all students. They're located throughout campus, and it's a nice way, like if you just need even a space to be in, to do your homework, it's a great way to kind of get connected to those communities and participate in their social programming or their educational campaigns as well. So I highly encourage you, if any of these sparked your interest, to just kind of search up Women's Center, UCSD, and all of the information will come up in the search. And with that, we know that you're probably tired of hearing us talk about all of these different things, which is why we wanted to share some of the student perspective from current international students. This is also a good time to remind you all to submit your questions through the Q&A feature, because we're going to dive into the live Q&A session after this part. And I know our lovely student panelists introduced themselves a little bit, but I was just hoping we can do introductions one more time. Eunice, if you don't mind going first, I'll pass it over to you. Eunice, you're still muted.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry about it. Hi everyone again. I'm Eunice. My actual full name is Kian Lee, but usually I go by Eunice. I'm from Hong Kong, and then my college is Revelle College. I'm a fourth year, which means I'm senior student. My major is sociology, specifically in social inequality. And I'll pass it on to Dengi.
Hi everyone, I'm Ding Yi. I'm an international student from Wuhan, China. I'm a newer student and majoring in visual art media. I'm also a fourth year student right now, so this is actually my last quarter here at UC San Diego. So I'm pretty excited to be here and share all my experience over the 4 years with you guys. And for that, I will pass on to Zina.
Hi everyone, I'm Zina, and my hometown is Wuxi, China. I'm in third college, Marshall College, and I'm also in third year. I study sociology and political science as my majors, and I also minor in film studies. I really enjoy my 3 years at UC San Diego, and I can't wait to share my experiences with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for the introductions again. Our first kind of set of questions focuses on community. So how did you find community at UC San Diego, and what advice would you give to an incoming international student trying to find their community at UC San Diego?
I can go first. For me, I like dancing and I've been dancing since high school. So I was actually finding trying to find a dance community in UCSD when I first come here. The way that how I find it, it's Karina also introduced about it. I found it through the student org website. And then I was just looking for different dance team, and then I look into it more and then look at their Instagram and see if that's the community I want to be in it. And so that's how I found my dance community. And overall, when I was at school, there's different little flyers of school that about different community, and I found one that's also interesting. So I was just trying to go to the meetings and see if I like the vibe and everything, and that's how I find it my own community.
I can go next. So I think it's also good way for everyone to find their own community according to who they are. Through your both your major, your hobby, if you interested in any sports or painting or anything like that, and also through your identity. So for me, I also practice a lot of sports when I was at high school. So I like what Eunice has experienced. I was walking around campus, and there's a lot of flyers around that you don't need to find them, and they would just come in front of you, and you can just see whatever sport that you're interested in, like badminton, swimming, football, and yeah. And for me, I would say it's good for you to find a community according to who you are, but it's also a great way to try something new while the time you're on campus. So I joined a drama club that because I'm always interested in watching drama, but I've never been part of the production of it. So I joined a drama club and participate in the marketing department, and we made a lot of posters and we took a lot of pictures for the play, and I met a lot of friends that we're still like connecting with each other. I think, yeah, it's also a good way for you to find another or a new hobby while you're on campus.
I can go next. So for me, it's kind of different situation because as a third year, a lot of us experienced like the pandemic harder than everyone else. So my first year was on Zoom, and in which case that's like really hard for me to find friends through like, Zooming. So but I moved here as a second year. To be honest, I was being UC socially dead for a year, but my third year, I joined ISPO. I started to work as a program assistant here at ISPO, and I started to meet a lot of great people coming from like different cultures, different backgrounds, and I made like a lot of like deeper connections with them. So here on the call, I have Dingy and Eunice, which are my great friends, and also for student work wise, I joined a sorority this year, and it's been really fun. So if you guys are interested in enjoying like a Greek life, please feel free to do so. They have a lot of like rush weekend activities at the beginning of each quarter. So if you guys are interested, please feel free to just check it out. It's a fun experiences for like a lot of international students since we never had that like, American experiences. And yeah, my advice would be just to give it a shot to everything that you haven't tried yet, and try to talk to more people and go to as much events as possible. And yeah, I think that would be it.
Thank you all so much for sharing, and it's so exciting to hear all of the different ways in which you're involved on campus, and just again how many opportunities there truly are to start something new or continue some of your interests. Our next question is more on the academic side. So what has been your experience with academics at UC San Diego, and what advice would you give to someone to succeed academically here?
I can go on for that. So I'm also a transfer student. So if you're transfer students, you can also contact me if you have any struggle. But I'm transfer student. So being a transfer student, I feel like the experience with me academic in UCSD is not as hard as freshman, because like the setting, it's kind of really kind of familiar or similar to each other, and just a little bit more competitive compared to community college. But so far, my experience in UCSD, academic experience in UCSD, it's pretty good. Just be mindful. I know a lot of people like to talk about this, but some of the advice that I really, really recommend is like go check on your professor, because like different professor have different teaching style. So you can go to like Rate My Professor or even Caps. I can never remember, but I remember it's Caps to see like how people rate the professor, and if the professor style, like teaching style, is what you like. And that's how I use to choose my classes. And so far I've been loving my class. I'm taking like sociology class right now, and I've been stuck with this professor for almost like 2 or 3 quarters already, because I really like my professor, and he made class like so much more interesting. It just like there's a lot of story time. It just like I love it so much. Like I would never want to skip my class at all. So I really like the academic settings here. And I know 10 weeks can be pretty hectic. Even like right now it's kind of like burnout like for 10 weeks, but just trying to not fall behind. And if you're falling behind, just trying to catch up. I know it's really hard to catch up everything in 10 weeks and let your brain process everything in 10 weeks. But so far I survive. I make it through, and I feel like it's a pretty fun experience to learn what you like and everything. So that's it.
Yeah, I've got a lot of like similar thoughts as Eunice, because I think my academic experience also start like really hard because for someone who take English as second language for the undergraduate study, I was so overwhelmed by the writing class in my college. And I remember there's like, I think it's the second quarter when I just get started, which I've taken an art history class because I'm a visual art student, and I was like having so much hard time of understanding the accent and also the like getting used to the speed of the class that is going on, and I feel a lot of stress, and I had to like drop from that class at that quarter. And I remember I was like really anxious, and I was calling my mom and crying and telling her like I have to make this choice. And I think also like one of the reasons that I was that anxious that time could because everyone and all my friends around me was like taking 4 to 5 classes when they just get started, and I feel a lot of pressure by seeing them trying so hard. But now I'm like, it's my 4th year, and I have overcome all the course that I feel it's hard for me in the past. And I would say just don't give yourself like too much pressure if you think you cannot like do that much class at one quarter. And also just feel free to consider taking a gap year or a gap quarter to do whatever like it's in your mind. And also finally, a piece of advice that I will give is that don't hesitate to like always reach out to your department advisor or your major advisor to ask them, because they have met so many students and they've helped so many students. So they'll give you a lot of advice on what class to take and what would be like a good order for you to progress from lower division class to like a more intermediate and higher division class. So just don't hesitate and don't be afraid to reach out for help. I will pass on to Zena.
Thank you, Dingy. So my experience with academics at UC San Diego has been really great. I like a lot of the classes that I've taken. A lot of them are like really interesting. So for a person who's double majoring in sociology and political science, I've taken a lot of like social science classes, and I talk about like a lot of like interesting topics that I like always want to learn about. Also, by studying here, you get the access to a lot of great resources, and you get to talk to a lot of really cool professors, and these professors can all be your networks in the future for you to get into a certain field. And the university is super supportive of each student's development in academics. And so we have the Writing Hub Center, which can help you with the writing course or just any writing assignment in the future. And we also have mental health resources. So if you ever feel stressed, you can definitely reach out for them for more help. And also we have a lot of great resources with researches. Even though you're undergrad, you can still participate in lab research or other type of researches. So a piece of advice that I would give to someone who wanted to succeed academically was to plan wisely in your first year. So for me, I did a lot of research into how I can overlap courses and what kind of class I have to take that overlap with my major as a GE, so I don't have to take too many courses. And that's why I'm able to do a 2 major and 1 minor. So my advice would be just check it out, what kind of resources that you have that you are able to access to, and just like explore interests, and also talk to college counselors if you need any help with planning. And yeah, I believe everyone here can succeed academically. And yeah, I will pass it back to the next slide.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Our next question is a bit more general to life in the US and California. How has it been for you to transition to the United States for higher education? What has your experience been like living in Southern California? And what here has helped you in your well-being and success? And you can answer any of these. I know it's quite a lot of questions.
I can go first. Since I'm a transfer student, I have been in the US for I think 5 years, almost 4 to 5 years right now. At first, I understand as an international students, the most like barriers for us is language wise, because like maybe like for me personally, I don't actually used to speak English all the time in my country or where I'm from. So it was kind of a little bit hard when it comes to communication at first, especially you're in a higher education, because there's all those like professional words that you don't understand. I've been using Google Translate because like Google Translate do help me personally a lot to understand what's going on. But as you're going on, you're using more like English to communicate. Your English will build up like way better compared to when you first came, and you're kind of getting used to using English to communicate too. So far my 4 and 5 years in here, it's been like pretty good. Um Even though right now there's still like some like language barrier that like some people don't understand, or like I can't think of any words that I want to say or like in English, but like most of the time I know a lot of people are afraid of like, oh, I don't know that English, or people make fun of me. Like I never have a problem of people making fun of my English, even though I say something wrong, or even though I misunderstand something. You just don't be afraid to ask something if you don't really understand something, and people will explain it to you. So just use your English wherever you want and everywhere that you can. Don't be afraid. If anything got wrong, no one's gonna make fun of you. They're just gonna let you know, oh, it's actually this and this and this. So far it's been pretty good. And my experience living in SoCal, I love Southern California. I call it SoCal. Because of the weather, it's so nice. It's also close to the beach. And I really love the beach, especially in here, San Diego and La Jolla, where the campus is. You're really close to the beach. And I love doing all the like beach activities such as like going walk on the beach, or like snorkeling, kayaking, and all those stuff. It's actually really helping for my well-being. And because me personally, I already said I love the beach, and then like I just like being at the ocean, feeling the breeze of the ocean. And it's been really nice to live in SoCal. And also since like SoCal is also really diverse, I can find food that's from different culture or different backgrounds. Like I can find my own food. Like I'm from Hong Kong, so it's Cantonese food, and I can find Cantonese food literally everywhere. Which like I don't get like sick of like, oh, eating American food all the time or eating other type of food, because like I can always find the food that I'm comfort with all the time. But yeah, I'll pass it on to the next person.
Sure. Thank you, Eunice. I think for me, the transition to United States for higher education is also like quite hard at the beginning, because I think it's super more normal for someone just not particularly to United States for higher education. It's super more normal for everyone to like have to adjust to a new place or a new culture to start a new chapter. I think for me, it's more about connecting to people, and also learning about how to adapt my like personal living style with the place that I'm here right now. So I think it's a great way to find like resources and do a lot of like research online. For example, about foods that food from your home country that you like, or the sports or activities that you're used to or you feel comfortable with, and taking that as a first step to transition to the lifestyle that we are here at San Diego. I think the next question, okay, what was my experience being like living in South California? I would say I feel really lucky that I was having my college at South California, because I've been like traveled to different places while during my 4 years. I've been to like eastern parts, but I kind of as a person who has like asthma, I feel like I cannot like leave past a winter if I'm like in more like the eastern part. So I feel really lucky that the Southern California weather treat me and my asthma pretty well. And also the food here is like, the food in San Diego is really great and you have a lot of choices. And what helped me and my well-being and success, I will also give a lot of credit to the delicious food here, because when I feel a lot of stress, I will reach out to like tasty food, and that allowed me to like distress a lot. And also, if there's an advice that I wanted to provide, I would say that it is great for everyone that has the ability or the access to get a driving license or like a driving permit here at Southern California. You don't need to like purchase a car, but I think it will be like really like more convenient for rental car, and also going on a road trip, going on hiking to like experience the beauty of Southern California. Yeah. I'll pass it on to Zena.
Yeah, so for me, I attended an international high school back in China. So language-wise, it wasn't too hard for me to transition to the US, but I feel like moving to a new country definitely presents a lot of challenges, and especially when you're like traveling alone. So as I just said, my first year I was pretty socially dead. I didn't go to a lot of activities on campus, so I couldn't find like a lot of friends, and that's why I started to like actively seeking for more resources on campus, because like we have a lot of events that these are all like great ways for you to make connections on campus. And so for higher education wise, I was really nervous about seeking for help from a professor, because I thought they were like really, they were all like the authority in like the academia, and I thought they were all like really serious people, but it turns out that they were really great and really easy to make friends with. So if you're ever like feeling that you need any help from a professor, definitely reach out. They're all really nice people. And my experience in Southern California has been really great. So if you know the hometown that I'm from, it rains a lot. It rains for like 2 or 3 months before the summer. So that's why I moved to SoCal, because I love the weather here, even though it's not the greatest today. I like how sunny it is for most of the days, and these all give you like great opportunities for you to go to the beach or go hiking. Personally, I really like outdoor activities, so I go out to like hiking, swimming, and skateboarding a lot of times. And I feel like the nature, like the view here in SoCal is just great. So definitely check it out to like different locations if you're interested in going out for like outdoor activities. And so one thing that I was like kind of have mixed feeling about was transportation in Southern California. So it's gonna be a little inconvenient if you don't have a car. But I feel like living in University City will make it so much easier because we have trolley and we also have bus that can take you to most of the places in La Jolla. But if you want to go out of La Jolla, it's going to be a little bit difficult. But since I really recently got a driver's license and started like driving around, it has been so much easier. I was able to go to Lakers game last week, and it has been really fun. So, how my well-being was, self-care. So what I do sometimes is just like to lie down at Sangha lawn, enjoy the sun, just like close your eyes, feel the nature, and it's like help you release the stress after like taking so many classes and also going to the beach. So, one of the locations that I really recommend was Gliderport. It's right next to our campus. You can go there by walk. Yeah, it's basically cliff, and if you want to go down, there's a little hike. You can go to the beach, and I would say just like go there if you ever feel like stressed, and just like, go look at the ocean, like listen to the sound of the ocean, and just chill. Also, I love the food here. So San Diego has a really large, really diverse community. You get to taste like food from everyone from everywhere else, and you're also able to taste the food from your home country. So I've tried a lot of Mexican food, a lot of Indian food, a lot of South American food here. So I'm really excited to try out different food, but not just like in a single city. And I'm also able to have like a lot of like the dishes from my hometown. So I really like my experience living in SoCal and also here in San Diego. If you guys need any recommendations for restaurants, please let me know. I'm more than happy to provide you all that information. And I'll pass it back to Karina.
Thank you so much for sharing. Before we get to answer some of the questions, I know we don't have a lot of time, but I do want to share these important deadlines and reminders with you. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to request your visa documents through iPortal by going to iportal.ucsd.edu. As I mentioned earlier in the presentation, you'll get access to iTriton on June 1st. July 10th is when you have to complete health requirements. So make sure you submit your immunizations and all of the records. Be on a lookout for information about college orientations. Those will start around August and September. Dates will vary by college, so we highly encourage you to kind of connect with your colleges for that information. And lastly, we're super excited to welcome you all for new international student orientation in September. And with that, I do want to direct it to the questions in the Q&A feature. Gabi, I see that you've marked one. Would you like to go first?
Yes, sure. I can go ahead and answer. One of our earlier questions earlier in the session was if, well, first, when is the winter break? And in a moment, I'll put in the chat kind of the schedule for the year. You can take a look and see the academic calendar, which is listed on the UCSD site, and gives you just a sense of when the winter break is, spring break, and summer break. So it's really good to have as a reference point. And then in terms of housing for winter break, in the years past, the last couple of years, especially with the pandemic, housing has stayed open during the winter breaks. Housing, dining, hospitality, which provides housing on campus, has not updated their website to indicate what housing availability will look like for this winter. So for winter 23 into 24. So we just recommend keeping an eye on the HDH website where they will update this information. So I'll go ahead once I'm finished here, I'll put those links in the chat so you have a reference point for some of these questions.
Thank you, Gabi. Zina, would you like to tackle the question about how tough it is to maintain a 4.0 GPA?
Yes. So personally, I would say it really depends on your major. I know for a lot of STEM majors, it's gonna be really challenging to maintain a 4.0 GPA, but it's not impossible. I know some people who are able to do that. So for me, I am able to maintain a 4.0 GPA for this year, but in my first year, I made some mistakes. So I couldn't get like the perfect GPA, but it doesn't really matter. What it matters is you enjoy your college experience. So don't put too much pressure on you, and if you really want to achieve that goal, it's definitely possible. But I would say just don't give yourself too much pressure on that. There are like a lot of more than academia in college that you should be able to enjoy. But yeah, I would say good luck on getting your full point GPA. It's possible. Yeah.
And then it looks like Sarah is typing the answer. And now, Sarah, if you'd like to share that answer in regards to iHouse housing for first-year students. No, never mind. It looks like, okay. We are at time, so we do apologize. We have to cut the Q&A session short. But if, again, we haven't had a chance to answer your question, please make sure to email us. You can see all of our contact information on this slide. We would like to thank you all for joining us today. We hope you had a chance to learn a little bit more about what the campus community is like, how to get involved. And again, if you'd like to watch the recording of this webinar, please visit inewstudentswebinars.ucsd.edu. Thank you all so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.